londita wola ibe siare ministry la kuoltol bol fana itata ni Mansa Kunda la fanna la ka security sector ka dada ku ka londi ay ta silo la miya lonko woni luwa lebita anin banko dingol lafta eta nyamen yetama wo nyama wo kono luwa mimbe laring immigration kunto min yalon ko luwa koto ballo o luwa nata jubele adada ku sayen ben tembo min to luwa be laring cabinet le iba jube kan pour ka luwa nyin tambinde ako follow pour Gambia internal security policy soto wolon policy mi yalon ko abe molla kanto jube la banko kono so wo fana adunda cabinet le pour ya jube min kera Gambia fire service fanati itol fana la loi wo fana dunda jele wo fana be pare kanne pour kata cabinet ya jube police la loi drug enforcement la loi and prison la loi wolbe ministry of justice le iba kotobokan pour ka ke luati yo fana natina private security guards company fana loi abe jube kanne scientific ministry do ako ministry fango bina falindir bakela ila tamandir nyato pour kaje ko mol min be koto isela kol koto bo nyamen yaaje ko ila doko e ka kenen silol la andun ayta ko banko dingol lafta la nyamen wokono TRRC la recommendation ol ke tamandi ministry fanal mi ya lon ko ministry of interior nyanda kake lon kan kendol taraje pour kaje ko woleke andu wokono commission o TRRC ya fo ila recommendation o mimu kemelulu nin tannan nin nani 544 kaje ko commission o lo min se Cairo sabatindino banko kan nyin commission o dum ministry nata wuli inim banko be kachara ye loi nyin safe pour loi min be o commission o londela andu nyin loi saimbe tembo minto aparetale ya samba cabinet le pour cabinet ya ko jube ni wole ya tambi ay nafuta national assembly minister ay tandi fana ala kumo kono ko infrastructure development wolo lo fengol bungol ana nyongol pour na molla do kudlal ako kata ko keta je bak polisol ini ila partner mem mujiazati ye kato keje ye police station lo la jamato banko kan ako amamme bake fang na police station kuto yele amdal SO mi ya lonko ate minister fangole ya yele president o toyal andum police station be lokan banko fanna bela kara police station fana be police station faramansere ngo sotola ate mela bake dina daga juwe immigration la fana kaje ko security be akada drug to akada custom to akada police be se doko keno nyokan IOM nata makoy Japan Mansa Kunda la dapansiro kan pour ka bungol lo minalon ko immigration doko be kala wolto na nanel to min bugo jiboro amdalay anin ker ali farafenye ma fangol bir minister bododo anata etandi ko sign ferol mimbe landiri pour kaaje ko banko la kanto akuwe falin nyala mi yalon ko abe faramansala abe banko mol nafa a follow kol mimbe o kenola wolon kanna prison bunda jube andu nyin Mansa Kunda pareda ka prisono dada mi yalon ko saimbe bolale ka fodro moy kuke don ya soron ya tuje bare ni ya tuje ibe mine kala so mol mi yalon ko ibe prisono kono ibe karandi la mechol la min yalon ko dindingol long ibe ta kan karam moto ilata prisono ta tela karam kuntula is a grade 7 kenoje 8 kenoje 9 kenoje for grade 12 andi be exam wala kala min yalon ko mo kotengol min be banda karam mongol to e kawo exam kilingol ke so nyimbe kala kuti mi yalon ko abenna banko dingol mako la ani mo kotengol min da prisono kono pour e fintino yana society kono andu yeke nafati banko e andu nyim fana bululet mi yalon ko aba Gambia londi la kuke bage ko hadama dingola nyanto ay bunya andum hadama dingo sula da fengo fenna min keda prisonti ite tarra dulato mi yanka be detering mo jamale tara nyapiri nyokam prison o kono wo bebe kala kulet mi yalon ko abe bola Gambia banko kan andu wobe Gambia kala nyaton ko leti ka prison maralo ka faramansandi andum ka bulkuto ta mi yalon ko dunia be sa jube wolon say ni lafta kayto nyi sino la bungo kono wala la mobile auto ye kayto nyin kane ye joro keje ye appointment ota lungo mi bita eta interview la pour la kayto sodo wo ranjambal min gake wala nyinta ba jalal ko mol min be fanal min be bala ministry koto ibe yetara dending ila kangol anila tamandirnyal e ka kumol fale nyokan ibajala ko be mfasala le nil lafta ka criminal suute ka tama janka letaro safe kata wo be taraje ase keno tariya kono den se abe mako la bakele na crime kelola nyim banko kan so ala kumo jindi dula ay tandi ko ate a contanta bake kanana jang ka nyin diamo itandi andu a contanta fana pour anim banku dingol e nyaatili nyola e kacha anim fana itandi ko ate aka motivate le bake na a jube na official police or drug squad ika kato minke andun kutije a koliata nyaonya ibe sama kono ibe dibo kono ibe tilo kono pour kaje ko nyim banko e kanta o mukulete mi alon ko wokate wasabake so alabandula ay dr ismaila sise anala mol ay tentu ay jay ay tandiko kan yen simfaminta ka Mansa Kunda nati o be kala kulet mi alon ko abe lannaya tilingo aba lafalale Mansa Kunda la tamandiroto ako a jelo ko aketa e kontane ku bati pour ay na jambi anin gambeno le kacha ala baraka.
Thank you very much, DPS Gassama, for the translation. So those here and those outside will understand what the Honorable Minister. Before we proceed again, I acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister of Energy, Petroleum and Mines in our midst. Honorable Ministers present, we still have some pending members of the high table that need to introduce themselves and then tell us what they do in their
I had wanted to do the translation of the Honorable Minister in the Wolof language because coming to over here, like you show people there all of like so. No, it's okay. I think you just allow me to flow. Honorable SG. But let me just do my presentation. I think it's fine. No, I can't. That was what I thought. But then it's now time for my presentation. Yeah. With this one. All right, sir. The Honorable Minister for Interior, Secretary General, and Head of the Civil Service, Honorable Ministers here present, Permanent Secretaries, notably Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, my own ministry, Service Heads here present, Director General, Gambia Immigration Department, Director General, Drug Law Enforcement, Senior Security Officers present here, senior government officials, members of the Fourth Estate. My name is Sidi Mokhtar Toure. I am the current Inspector General of Police. Since I have been given only 5 minutes, I will try to shorten the presentation by not bothering you with the mission, vision of the Gambia Police Force and go straight to the presentation. But I think it's important also for the audience to know what are the core mandates of Gambia Police Force. One, it is protection of life and property, maintenance of law and order, detection and prevention of crime, apprehension and prosecution of offenders, and enforcement of all laws with which they are charged. Moving on, the engagement of the force so that there is that synergy between police and members of the general public, radio talk shows, TV appearances, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, of course the police radio, community policing caravans, and community outreach programs across the length and breadth of the country. Notable achievements since 2017, development of institutional policies, administrative and legal framework, development and implementation of key policies such as the Honorable Minister mentioned the level the police bill is. But of course, we also have the Gambia Police Force Strategic Plan 2024 to 2028. This goes in tandem with the policing doctrine. They have the same life cycle. Gender mainstreaming policy, sexual harassment and abuse policy, arrest and detention manual, guidelines on policing and public assemblies, selection and recruitment policy, promotion and transfer policy, fleet and assets management policies. Not to repeat what was already mentioned by the Honorable Minister, infrastructural development and improvement. You know, when the DPS Technical Interior requested for my presentation, these were my fears. Most of the things that I need to say, my minister will speak before me, and he will mention it. And if I say it, then it becomes a repetition. But I already have it in my presentation, so I allow you, crave your understanding, allow me to just flow with it. 4 model police stations commissioned, and here he thanked the German ambassador, and I equally want to recognize that protocol by saying a very to Farafenye to inaugurate these 5 model police stations, and they are to be built at Birkama in the West Coast region, Farafenye NBR, Jarasoma, LRR, Basse, and Makamasire in the upper river regions. Happy to say that construction has already commenced, with the exception of the last lot, which is the Makamasire project, where the procurement processes and the bidding is at a high level. Hopefully very soon, it will be awarded to the winning contractor. The Honorable Minister equally mentioned the SF Model Police Station, which was supported by GPF and UNDP. And that was a project, that was initiated by himself, as earlier mentioned, as technical. So we took over from where he stopped, and that's why in my speech during the inauguration ceremony, I thank him and further told him that I am much more lucky a person since I was the one inaugurating the station. There are plans also to complete the Kairaba multipurpose building. There is an ongoing project also at Kalaji, Mansa Kunda Police Station, and this, according to the project, it's 85% complete. I was just having a whisper talk with him, and hopefully before the end of the year, the turnaround, we should be able, to inaugurate the Kairaba station before 31st December this year. The German Police Support Group, GPST, equally supported us in the refurbishment of the police training school at Banjulende, and this was the location where we successfully trained a batch of 1,336 officers that recently graduated. Uniforms were equally supplied to police officers, equipments, and office tools. And also, we rehabilitated major police stations in 4 regions. Investigation gadgets for the CRO and the statistics unit, forensics, and handwriting. These were also procured. Now, Gambia Police Force can do DNA tests here. We can also conduct, handwriting. We can also conduct verification of fraudulent documents. These are all equipments, in the possession of GPS. Again, on mobility enhancement, Minister mentioned the pickups that were recently bought, and they were distributed, in the length and breadth of the country. 111 police stations and posts. We know there are competing priorities for government. They cannot do all, but what we end up doing, we have what we call, in our categorization, Class A, Class B, and Class C stations. And also, it is important to know that you map out, the strategic nature of a given area on the number of crimes, that are there. This was what informed the distribution of those to the length and breadth of the country. Work environment and service encourage efficiency is also training and capacity building initiative. And this is in furtherance to the ongoing security sector reform, because as we all know, the main 3 components of SSR has to do, 1, with capacity building, 2, infrastructural development, and 3, equipping of those and incident management, environmental protection, crowd control, trafficking, project management, advanced investigation, crisis, and incident response. Performance management, system PMS, deployment planning, women leadership, coaching, gender awareness, SGBV, and to end or completely eradicate female genital. Human rights training, internal investigations, torture prevention, child rights, hate speech. And then for crime prevention, I earlier mentioned about the forensic lab. Now we have the capacity, we have the wherewithal to be able to conduct our own forensic, investigations, community policing, WAPIS database that is linked to the West African Police Information System. The Honorable Minister equally mentioned about the the police bill, GIZ consultancy support, which aligns with democratic policing and human rights. We equally have our canine dogs that are supporting the highway patrols, and of recent, with the constant theft that we are experiencing at the Jambur solar plant, plans are in the offing to deploy the canine units there to support the security operatives in their work. There is also increase in community visibility and patrols, and we equally have plans to revitalize the river patrol unit. Not to take too much of my time, or your time rather, the future plans. Continue constructing police stations, procure command and patrol vehicles, enhance road safety, install CCTV cameras in all the public highways, train police officers in ballistic, crime analysis, and handwriting. Your kind attention is appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, GP, for that presentation. One thing I know about the security, you are very regimented. When you say 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes. You don't change. I'm sure we will go by that. Now we invite the DG Immigration. Thank you. You're going to have a lot of questions today.
You a brief account of our mandate, and I'll follow with achievements and our future plans. I also have been told perhaps I'll be putting it in the wall of language also. So, sir, I think you'll be allowing me with extra time. So the Gambia Immigration Department reports to the Ministry of Interior, and our mandate includes the implementation of the 1997 Constitution and laws of the Gambia, among other things, to enforce the Nationality and Citizenship Act of 1965, Immigration Act of 1965, Registration of Aliens Act of 1977, and the Refugee Act of 2008. Immigration has been engaging the public, and this is in line with our communication and community engagement strategy of the department. We've established and strengthened the community engagement unit to keep the population informed about GID's activities and mandate. In that regard, it has designated focal points across all regions to engage community leaders and other stakeholders on GID's mandate, achievement, and related functions. Over 75 public engagement activities have been conducted on TV and radio stations from January to date. Additionally, the command have also reached out to radio and TV stations to hold talks, radio talk shows on Police Show and Star FM, respectively, once a week on matters that have to do with GID. We have also been on GRTS, QTV, and that is just to mention a few. Now, we have achievements on the side of legal and regulatory framework, but these are some of the things mentioned by our Honorable Minister on the side of the bill, but I will skip that. It also follows the development of policies and enhanced command and control to tie the functional responsibilities, offices, directives. Some of these policies are the visa policy that was just revised and communicated or disseminated by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, gender and sexual harassment policy, recruitment and promotion policy, and etc. Now, in ensuring secure identification and documentation of Gambians, expanded the passport processing and ID card. Not only that, but we should be reminded that we are also in other embassies providing consular services on immigration-related matters. GID has expanded passport issuing centers to 4 administrative regions, namely Mansa Kunda, opportunity to access immigration services. The expansion of the passport processing centers, the increasing demand in the acquisition of passports and the delivery of its services had necessitated that need. Now, on border security and migration management, I will skip that because my honorable minister has touched on that, on the MIDAS expansion. And we are also working with the Ministry of Tourism to see that some other porous borders are also manned with MIDAS. On the outcome of the migrants, that would-be migrants intercepted, the account was also given, so I'll skip that. Now, the introduction and implementation of secure report system. In February 2019, GID, in collaboration with Secure Report, started the implementation of the integrated immigration control system at the Banjul International Airport. The system detects fraudulent documents, imposters, validity of visas, and provides statistical returns on arrival and departure of passengers. The system is also synchronized with Interpol database, where it monitors local and international watch lists in detecting wanted criminals. And I think we should agree with the Honorable Minister that the Gambia is safer and much safer today. In one of our goals, goal number 4, we have support local law enforcement efforts and partnership. And I should appreciate the IOM, DCAF, Netherlands, Italy, Swiss, the Kingdom of Spain, for they have been very good partners to us. Now, in combating fraud and its related offenses, the GID prosecution unit, and we should thank the police because they train these officers for us, has successfully prosecuted more than 30 accused persons who are convicted for committing various immigration offenses, ranging from acting as an intermediary for the purpose of smuggling, alteration of immigration documents, entering the Gambia without pass or permit, impersonating a public officer, and etc. A document security lab has been established and equipped to detect fraud on fraudulent documents at the GIDTS. GID will strengthen enforcement of its laws and deterrence measures through continuous intra- and intra-service collaboration, patrol, and citizens' engagement. Now, on the provision of consular services for the protection of Gambians abroad, we have expanded representation to the Kingdom of Morocco and Nigeria in 2024 to provide services to Gambians within those jurisdictions. A historic expansion of the biometric passport abroad was also registered, and a decentralization is aiming to other countries that will be requested. Now, on infrastructure development, the changing trajectory of the department to a more vibrant, responsive, and service-oriented institution, coupled with the growing demand for immigration services, paved the way for massive and laudable infrastructural transformation. The current efforts of the department in improving its infrastructural development are commendable. And here we are looking at occupational health and safety, also with regards to human rights and gender roles. GID have in recent times, through support from stakeholders, invested in the construction and renovation of various immigration post stations to house its personnel and assets for improved performance as contained in Goal 8 of our strategic plan. A state-of-the-art project at Amdallah, Jibro, and Kel-Ali, Farafene, to support the implementation of the integrated border management system. This will further improve border management by using integrated border management techniques to enhance cooperation and coordination among border agencies and communities at local and international level. We've also renovated 11 stations and built 15 stations, thanks to some of our goodwill partners. On performance management, Training on human capacity. Immigration in the last 8 years has produced lawyers, economists, investigators to boost capacity and enhance performance. Series of trainings have also been attained on human rights, gender, document security, border management, and surveillance. The nature, structure, and operational efficiency of GID Training School has been upgraded to conduct refresher training programs for officers in badges on legal framework and other governing instruments. Thanks to the Commission, ADG admin for that. Yes, very soon.
You conclude.
Yes.
Thank you.
So on revenue performance, DID has been the center stage of government's domestic revenue mobilization, while committed to the implementation of the statutory mandate. Having seen the year 2024, a success with a great revenue amounting to 420 million was collected. And however, statistical returns of the first quarter of 2025 shows that 160,852,000 was collected. And on our future plans, we intend to deploy more liaison officers in the embassies abroad, also to decentralize our centers to provide documents to Gambians abroad. Expansion of MIDAS, introduction of online visa processing to synchronize our servers to a central database system, and then to validate our SP for 2025-2029. I think this is all we have for you, except if you allow for the, thank you. Okay.
Thank you, DG Immigration. Oh, you want to jam into my time also? Which immigrant? Prison. Okay. 3 minutes, huh? 3 minutes. 3 minutes, yes. In summary.
Honorable Minister of Interior and other ministers here present, permanent secretaries, members of diplomatic and consular corps, you this evening on behalf of the Gambia Prison Service. As we gather in this town hall, we reflect not only on our journey, but on the transformation of our institution since the dawn of the new political dispensation. Established under Section 182 of the 1997 Constitution, in which the Gambia Prison Service still depends on the 1953 Prisons Act. The Gambia Prison is mandated to keep in custody offenders of the law in safe, secure, and humanly manner. This also includes upholding the principles of reformation, reintegration, and rehabilitation, pillars that guide our commitment to human correctional practices and national development. Over the past few years, GPS has made significant strides in modernizing its operations, strengthening its workforce, and improving the welfare of both staff and inmates. Allow me, at this juncture, Honorable Minister, colleagues, distinguished guests, to share with you some of our key achievements and strategic initiatives made. First, professional training and international cooperation. In pursuit of excellence, GPS has prioritized professional development through international partnership. In collaboration with Nigeria Correctional Service, we had trained 3 batches of cadet assistant superintendents of prisons and 2 deputy superintendents of prisons in Kaduna and Owerri. A total of 17 officers has completed training, and 10 of them are currently enrolled at the Correctional Service in Nigeria. These programs have exposed our officers to modern correctional initiatives and achievements and administration best practices, which they have actively shared across prison stations upon their return. Yes. Institutional reforms and new units established. All right. After having been most of the issues that we are about to mention about the prisons, the plans that the way forward that we plan for the prisons, the minister have elaborated most of them. So based on the time management, I want to end here for until and give the floor to others also to contribute.
Thank you once again. Thank you for the time management. Honorable Minister, we now invite the DG from Dilik. 2 minutes.
I've been given 2, maybe I'll ask for 3. Honorable Minister of Interior, good evening, sir. Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, Honorable Ministers here present, IGP and other service chiefs, PS Interior, senior security personnel from here present, and members of our distinguished members of the gallery. My name is Demba Sise. I am the Director General of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. I have 2 minutes to do this, but I'll ask for 3. DLEAG, as we call it now, Drug Law Enforcement Agency, which used to be NDEA, National Drug Enforcement Agency, is the sole institution responsible for the use, possession, and control of illicit and prohibited drugs in this country. The agency came into being just 20 years ago in 2005. So we are a brainchild of the Gambia Police Force. And it's not surprising that we work very closely with the Gambia Police Force. One of the things we do as an agency here in this country is to look at issues of drugs in this country in 3 prongs: supply suppression, demand reduction, and cooperation within other services in this country and the international community.